We are still waiting here a bit for the players to get ready for Game 3 draft. It shouldn't be too far away. Maybe a big speech coming out from someone here at AOE. But yeah, with that, perfect timing as we are getting into picks and bans right after I said it. We'll see what the priority is here. A lot of questions about to be answered. And the biggest one, of course, who's going to take the series and set themselves up to be one of those playoff teams in 2 weeks? Viego looking to be the first ban once again here from New Age Frost, keeping this consistent. AOE, will they switch anything up? Nope, that's a quick Nocturne ban. Not allowed to have that one. Is Age King, or well, we're probably not Age King, probably more so Potato Senpai there as Nocturne, not quite the jungler he used to be. It's a little sad that the old days of Nocturne jungle, now we just see him as a solo laner, Cam.
Yeah, I mean, Nocturne moving into the solo lane, Lee Sin moving into the solo lane as well. Then Rumble, who used to be a top laner, now is a jungler. So we've just had all sorts of funky lane swaps and people going into the jungle and people coming out of the jungle that you just really weren't expecting before this new rework in Season 11.
Yeah, more bans do come on the table, though. It's very meta versus very focused here. Karma taken away from AOE. That Yasuo is a favorite of Rio. We talked about it. You got to take that one off the table, or New Age will snap up a Gragas Yasuo. They are not afraid to throw that one in your face. So, like that, AOE have done their homework a bit on this mid jungle. We'll see if they continue the bans, and this is looking very similar. No Tristana for AOE. This time, no, we do get the adaptation. The Hecarim banned away. That leaves Ezreal open. It is snapped up immediately, and AOE are not afraid of what happened in Game 2. They go right back to Gwen Lee Sin. Good God, Cam. These teams are convinced they've got the right strategy.
Absolutely. They are sure and saying that this is a not draft cap. This is a game cap. We are going to play this game. I guess they're going to play it differently than they did in game 1. I'm assuming that there's going to be, I guess it's going to be a Lee Sin jungle again. And that is a very early look of Yuumi. So we're going to have another Yuumi this game as well. But there is no, we make Hecarim fast this game. So I'm wondering if it's going to be an Udyr. That's really the only champion I can think of where you just build a comp around making them go fast.
Yeah, but there's a little bit of a difference between an Udyr and a Hecarim these days, Cam. Hecarim is a damage build now. You can absolutely dish it out. Udyr has been nerfed. He does not do what he used to do in the early game. He got a little bit of a buff to late game scaling, but nevertheless, the Wukong comes back out, so it is a bit of the same from New Age, but they won't get the same AD carry as AOE decides to take this away from New Age Frost. I guess can't really take it away with the Ezreal already selected, just picking it for themselves this time for Paxax, and that's an interesting diversion away from the Varus that was still available this time around. They didn't like it into the Yuumi in that last game. They didn't like it probably into the Wukong as well, so they will go another direction.
Yeah, it is definitely interesting to see that they are taking that Sivir now. A Sivir is typically that champion that you just pick into comps that includes champions such as Skarner, as Malzahar, even a TF, or then most of those hook champions. And already seeing that they locked in that Yuumi, and I mean, we haven't seen a mid laner or jungler yet, but I mean, picking a champion up so early like that, whose basically entire champion identity is centered around either going fast or just making sure that she doesn't die is interesting.
Yeah, certainly is. We'll have to see what the prio is. Again, the bans are quick here. Orianna and Yone taken away from Rio in the counter for the potential counter pick. Thresh, Nautilus, both those hook champions not going to be available here for AOE. So despite that very aggressive Nautilus maybe not working out long term, they didn't like Kenny Masterlin in lane on either of those champions, so they will be taken off the table. And what will AOE pick here in the critical R4 slot? It's gonna be Leona. So a nice bottom lane wrap to wrap this one up. A lot of engage still. It's not quite a hook, but it has risen in priority here, Cam. It is basically the premier engage support at the moment.
Absolutely. I mean, we have seen Kenny play both of these hook champions so well in games 1 and 2. Finding that win in game 1 and then finding those really strong picks in game 2, not being able to turn that into a win. And then game 3, not even being able to play one of those hook champions. It is still a very strong engaged champion, arguably even stronger than a hook champion. But into a Yuumi specifically, I definitely think Leona's going to have the edge in lane.
Yeah, it'll have the edge in lane, but my oh my, is that a Poppy jungle I spy here, Cam? I don't think it can be anything else. I don't think Wukong can jungle. We'll see what the last pick is here, but I think this might be an Age King pocket pick here. Don't think I've seen him play this yet. And he is going to bust it out here in the decisive game 3. Victor will be the final pick here for Rio to give the composition some AP. This leaves counter pick open for Runeweaver. What is going on over there, Cam?
I am very excited for this Poppy. You've got the Gwen dash, you've got the Lee Sin dash, you got the Lee Sin kick. You can even stop the Leona E from coming in as well. And depending on who they lock in on R5, I'm assuming they won't pick a champion with the dash yet. That's not a champion with the dash. That's a nice strong Rumble. Then you can't really dodge the Rumble dash, but still Poppy, very strong pick, especially if you're able to pilot that well in the jungle.
Yeah, we get the Rumble in here finally. We haven't seen it all series of this incredibly OP champion here. We'll have to see where this does end up. Of course, we did see Melscout on his Lee Sin last game. It didn't quite work out, but he was 4-0-0 at one point, so maybe they think that's not the problem. Of course, all 3 of these champions in the top side of the map for AOE can technically be flexed wherever they want them to, depending on who's feeling what matchup and where they want them to go. We'll have to wait for the actual champion select here in client to fully determine it, but my guess would be we get Rumble jungle, we get Lee Sin mid or top here. Probably top would be my guess. We'll see if I'm right about this one, Cam. So with that assumption, with this Poppy counter pick in here, how do you think these two comps are going to interact? Because I'm with you. The Yuumi kind of worked out when you had the Hecarim to go fast, but now it's more about keeping people alive. And we've seen Ezreal Yuumi a ton of times in the past as sort of a late game kind of clean up AD carry. But I do have to say, I don't see a lot of consistent damage here coming out from New Age Frost. The Victor's going to poke you a little bit up front. The Ezreal can poke you from long range, but it's really going to be incumbent on Wukong here, on Potato Senpai and on Age King's Poppy to set up the fights to be proper for the damage to really come down on top when you have a Yuumi as a support.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if Yuumi is building that Shurelias again this game, then they are going to have a little bit more room to play around that equalizer from Rumble. But other than that, it's going to be very hard to try and force any fight into Gwen, into Sivir, into even a Rumble and a Leona. It's just that comp has such strong disengage that trying to run in them with a Wukong, with the Yuumi, with even an Ezreal, it's going to be very hard to find any team fight for the side of New Age.
Yeah, it can be very, very hard. There is so much disengage, so much zone control, a decent amount of range with that Ezreal and Yuumi. And as you were mentioning, this Poppy could be a very solid counter pick with all of the dashes that are available for AOE God Squad. Yeah, Poppy not going to be the fastest clearing jungler, not part of the meta at all, but we know that Age King does not really care about the meta. This is a Jarvan 4 player, this is a new player, this is a guy that does a level 2 and level 3 ganks like it is his job. So I am excited to see him on another meta pick that I think does very much fit the situation. It's going to be incumbent on AOE to prove that the meta, you know, the OP is just going to overrun the Poppy here. It is that Rumble jungle. It is the Lee Sin top. So my prediction does come true here, Cam. I think that is going to be the appropriate setup for this team as... okay, I don't know what happened. Wait, is this... Okay, I was going to say that can't be real. That can't be a Victor bottom lane. That's real mid. Thank you, please, for not making me lose my mind here. But... it's going to be interesting to see if AOE can use that mobility to get around this Poppy, or if that does actually stonewall this composition, because it definitely could. But these champions are OP for a reason. This is one of the OPest top sides I've ever seen, and this is going to be a big challenge for New Age to overcome once again.
Absolutely, and the major difference between picking what you consider a meta and a non-meta jungler is definitely in that clear speed, especially with someone being as strong as Rumble currently is in the meta. He's gonna absolutely outfarm this Poppy. She is forced to just play for ganks, play for her lanes. She's not gonna have a lead on her own by any means, unless, of course, I'm cast cursing in. This is gonna be a 10-0 Poppy, but on paper, this Rumble should really outpath this Poppy just in terms of clear speed alone.
Clear speed definitely going to be in the favor of Poppy, but again, we know Age King loves to gank early, so I would be keeping your eyes on the champions that can set him up. Top lane has been a pretty prosperous spot for them, so has the mid lane, so we'll see if Age King can find some early plays to make this work, but I got to ask you here as we tick down towards Spec Delay, Cam, there's a two-part question here. Which comp do you favor, and which team do you think is taking the game? These could be two different answers if you're really a person of faith here in one of these teams.
Which comp do I favor? I think I am probably more favored towards AOE, as they do have a lot more flexibility in their comp where they're not just forcing them to run into you. They do have a lot of disengage, and they do have a lot of teamfight and pick potential for themselves as well, especially with that Rumble Equalizer and that Leona Solar Flare available to them. And for the side of New Age, they have that strong team fight, but that's about it. So if they're not having that team fight for them, then they're going to be a pretty weak comp. So I'm definitely going to be favoring for AOE here.
All right, it's the double AOE here for Cam, predicting them for the Game 3 victory, but we will find out in just a couple minutes. Stick around for the decider here in this best-of-3 series between New Age Frost and AOE God Squad.
Hello, and we are back. Game 3 time here at Excellency's Heavy League. New Age Frost takes on AOE God Squad, looking to pull a Game 3 to swing this series in either direction. I am still joined by the one and only, the magnificent and the lovely RMC. And man, oh man, do we got a draft set up for a banger of a conclusion to an end.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you heard it on the analyst desk there. New Age Frost, they're picking the match meta champions, pardon me, the Wukong, the Yuumi here, which have performed so well. But AOE God Squad, I mean, I just look at their top side of the map, like you said, Necrox, Lee Sin, Rumble, Gwen. Those are some of the most meta champions in the game right now here. And for good reason, as mentioned on the analyst desk. Now, I'm looking for topside dominance from AOE God Squad here. Punish AOEGS on this Poppy, because Poppy ain't Hecarim. It's a lot slower. The ganks aren't quite as scary here, and if a Rumble finds a Poppy early in the jungle, well, that's something you can quite easily set on fire and burn down.
I want you to close your eyes for a minute as AOEGS sweeps out this Warden. Will be a nice 10 gold start. Potato picks that one up, and just imagine you're AOEGS on Poppy trying to clear out your jungle, and all of a sudden there's a Lee Sin beating up on you, there's a Mel Scout burning you down, and Rune Weaver cutting you up. There's just so much skirmishing potential on this top side. It is ridiculous, and AOE should absolutely dominate this one if they get the chance. There's an engage on bot side though. Zenith Blade level 1. Ogmon's going to get ignited, but that's all that will be burned. Health bar low, and that is the threat you have to deal with when you are the scaling lane, of the Ezreal Yuumi.
I mean, that's only going to get dicier than the bot side when they hit level 2 top side. The trading between Potato and Protato continues. They've been doing that all match long. We've not really touched too much on it because they've been unable to solo kill each other very, very much. But you know what? Look at the positions of the jungle here. AOEGS started top side solo, will not be there to back Potato up, and Mel Scout looking for that early gank, that level 2 cheese.
Looking for it with 8 CS, 2 camps under his belt, gives him level 3. Here we go, wave crashing. Be careful, Potato. You need to outplay this and flash. Flame Spitter, the clone does not matter. First blood to the top side of AOE. You are a prophet, RMC.
I mean, it kind of writes itself here when you get that much power on the top side. So really well played here. And the question is, where can they continue to snowball? I know we're seeing bot side trades, but I honestly don't think they have the kill threat just yet. Heal is still available for Kog'Maw. And I think mid is probably dicier right now because Rune Weaver's pushing out. And we've seen this happen before with the Hecarim.
What is this? Rune Weaver's just running him down. Flash away, flash follow. Are you kidding me? No way. Jungle intervention from the heavens. AOEGS saves his mid laner and evens out the kill count 1-1.
Just as I was saying that, I was thinking, did I just cast a curse real there? But no, AOEGS was there. AOEGS had his back, and that's not what you want to see if you're AOE here. That is the vulnerable jungle, the slower jungle you could have punished, who did just pick up a kill. Going to be in a solid position now, and we might see a bit of a fight over Scuttle if this top side doesn't pan out.
Ooh, very close stuff there. Mel Scout, did he get the Scuttle? Yes, he did. So able to secure that one. AOEGS could not grab that one, having to retreat now. Mel Scout actually going to take away these Raptors as well.
Yo, Chaser.
Super far ahead. Chaser, be careful. Zenith Blade over the wall. Paxax has the flash if he wants to follow it. I don't think he needs to. The rest of the team is here. Auto's coming through. Paxax from over the Dragon Pit will get number 1 for himself.
Yeah, I know Dia asked for this last week, but when do we get a spectator question mark pings? Why was Chaser on your own? You're a Yuumi. You play the game by attaching yourself to somebody else and then, turning on a movie, go watch the stream or something so you can type in Twitch chat. You should just never be wandering alone. And not only have you given a kill over, now Kog'Maw has to back out because there's no safety in that lane without a support.
Potato has no flash. He's probably dead here. Yes, AOEGS well done with a nice gank on top side. We'll grab one more, and we're going blow for blow, RMC. Couple analysis points here and there, but really, these teams just want to fight at all costs. AOEGS picking up every single bit of kill gold here for New Age Frost. Meanwhile, AOE have got gold on their AD carry in the Sivir, and Melscout on this Rumble. Something we've seen really slip through the cracks all night long. Such a powerful pick, but Melscout will be the first one to show us how it's done, and he's starting off well.
Did get spotted on the ward for that gank mid here, and that is going to give information about where this Rumble is. I'm expecting AOEGS. Maybe you go top again, revisit that lane. Potato Head already no TP. In fact, actually, is Potato Head going to ward out? Surely you must here. Yeah, there we go. Safe ward there. So then now maybe you look mid, because you know that Melscout just backed, did base invision of that ward.
Skipping / forward in the mid lane for Runeweaver, looking to take a heavy trade once again, but you got to be careful. The jungler's here once again. Rio, man, you can't keep getting away with this. Runeweaver, this is not okay. Can he get the kill? No, Rio with a shield at the last second will keep him alive. Runeweaver dies for the second time, and this Gwen, man, it's powerful, but Runeweaver makes it look balanced.
Kenny's coming up right now to try and find something, but no 6 means probably no kill. Great steadfast presence there. And Necrox, let's be fair right now. This isn't even a Runeweaver's fault. Runeweaver's winning these trades early here. AOE God Squad has winning lanes in every single lane. I feel like more than Runeweaver making it look balanced, AOEGS making this Gwen look balanced, man. He's just reading Runeweaver like a book here.
Maybe there's something to be found on the bot side. No level 6, so no equalizer. Yeah, arcane shift away. It's really hard to make a play onto the Ezreal Yuumi. That is exactly why you draft it. Even when you have massive, easy point and click engage tools like the Leona, simply can't find the mark there, so will come up empty-handed, but that means priority earned in bot side with extra pressure will secure first Drake.
Yeah, once again, 3 Mountain Drakes in a row here. Last game we did see the Cloud, so hopefully we don't see it this time topside. Potato, why are you going in?
Potato needs to be very careful, but why would you go in when you were that low HP and Wukong has an armor passive? Not sure the reasoning was thoroughly thought out, and Potato will find himself going back to the gray screen once again.
You know what, Necrox? I think it's the same thing as, like, you know how COVID's evolved and we've got different variants now. Lee Syndrome has evolved now that he's gone to the lanes. It's no longer about landing the Q and following up. Apparently, you can also safeguard to minions randomly to kick fights off that you really shouldn't be kicking off. AOEGS now looking at this bot side here, and Melscout not even close.
AOEGS is always here. It feels like tackle backwards, flash away from Kenny using the aftershock to keep himself safe, but that's 5 minutes burned. Runeweaver now again once in the mid lane. The Chaos Storm is down on him, but here comes the scissors. Can he find the 1v1? Finally, the jungler wasn't there, and Runeweaver wins it out.
Hey man, that was great play. You know AOEGS wasn't there. You know you've got that 1v1 and you finally turned that, but AOEGS is here now.
No, please stop. Leave him alone. Tackling the wall. Melscout Fade Splitter. Exhaust goes down. Runeweaver will fall, but AOEGS on the run. Chaser, get back on your jungler. He cannot do so. Shutdown will be given to Melscout as he finds himself 2-0. Skirmish after skirmish. AOEGS will not leave Runeweaver alone this game.
Oh my goodness. LCS teams, we found the counter to Gwen. It's not a champion, it's a player. It's AOEGS right now. That Poppy, 4 kills here and 3 of them on Runeweaver. I think at this point, the priority for AOE needs to start shifting to tracking this jungler here. You've got winning lanes across the board, but they can't make the plays if AOEGS is there. So invest a bit more aggressive wards, I think, and then just when you've got that window, we already saw Runeweaver can 1v1 Rio. Bot side, you know, Paxax and Kenny are winning, and we won't talk about top side because I don't know what happened to Potato Head there, and jury's still a little bit out on that matchup.
Yeah, and that's actually a really important point to bring up, Armsy. I'm glad you did. Is Potato looking to make an impact outside of his lane? Kick will throw Rio back away from the turret, but how much can you do? Nice gravity well will keep Rio alive for now. Is there one more strike to land? Nope. Nice disengage from Rio. He'll walk away from that one, basically harmless there on an attempt in mid lane.
Yeah, you do lose out quite a bit of top lane pressure, though. There's a huge wave crashing in, and Potato Head does not have teleport, so I'm a little bit concerned about how he gets back into lane when Potato is probably going to try and ambush him. No, actually didn't opt to do that, interestingly enough, so doesn't lose too much, and Runeweaver does continue to scale up, get ahead. I think this is the first game we're seeing the Gwen actually have a lane lead, and that is worrying for me, because generally when you see a Gwen take over a game, this is how it starts.
Yeah, this is how things begin to fall. Nice Zenith Blade on bot side, though. Solar Flare as well, and Chaser is dead. Caught out once again without a carrier. Kog'Maw able to keep himself alive with a flash away. But a 2v2 kill in the bot lanes mean Paxax, man. We saw what he can do with gold in game 1, and he's right back to it.
Mel Scout looking top here. Do we get french fries or is it roast potatoes?
Oh, Potato trying to make some fancy feet to get away, but the clone will not be enough. Engaged under the turret, but a nice disengage with that shield from H-King. I mean, no further follow-up. And Potato and Mel Scout duo play in the top side will find the Wukong for the second time this game.
What a difference we're getting here between the games, Necrox. Last game, 2k gold was enough for New Age Frost to feel like they were in complete control of the game. This time, we're seeing that 2k gold gap happening at about 10:30, and it doesn't feel like they're ahead. Paxax gone, pacing.
He's dead. Yeah, he's just gone. Caught shopping. Paxax. I was actually going to ask you, RMC. Paxax has lethal tempos. Top side does drop with a nice use of the Rift Herald. Shelly going to be able to grab that one up for Potato. That's how he gets back into the game with a little bit of extra cash and help from the jungle. H-King attempting to gank mid. This one shouldn't work out. Back to the point I wanted to make. We have a lethal tempo Sivir who's building lethality. I did not know that was a thing. As Mel Scout will face check into H-King. Runeweaver's here as well, but who's caught with who? H-King under the turret.
Wow.
Will get the ulti out, but H-King just flashes away.
Wait, is he out though?
What is going on? Leave this poor man alone. All right, he stands there and accepts his death. Kenny Master Lin grabs a kill and gives over 3 assists along with it.
Okay, I have literally, you know how like people are saying that, oh, Boris is winning the game and all that? Again, that's evolved as well. It's no longer about what you're building. It's the fact that multiple people have been caught shopping this game when you really shouldn't be. Kind of risky there. Now, to go back to your point, Necrox, about this lethality Sivir build that we're seeing with the lethal tempo. It also happened last game when I believe it was Kog'Maw playing the Sivir. I don't like it, but what you're kind of doing is you're just going for that initial lane control here. And then once you get that one sort of lethal mythic there and with the mirror mana, that's when you start shifting towards more crit build, more attack speed build. And that way you kind of compromise a little bit for that early game pressure plus that late game here. So it's not the worst build to come out. And it also tells me that AOE is not all winning on their early game once again here.
I'm just surprised because of the sheer tankiness of the front line. You have not only a Yuumi to make everyone deceptively even tankier. Here we go. Flash engage. Zenith on the bot side. Equalize over the top. Chaser's caught out once again. And now it's Kog'Maw's time to die as well. One more auto. There it is. Paxax gets number 3. And lethality Sivir. Man, with this kind of gold, every single auto hurts. Doesn't matter if you have tempo or not. This bot turret should drop as well. AOE God Squad grabs so much gold all over the Rift.
And I guess my biggest question after watching that bot lane engage Necrox is, can we get a check to see if Chaser is the same person? Because this looks like a completely different game. Top side?
Okay, knock up there with the Keeper's Verdict. Ooh. One more second spin comes in. Potato Senpai grabs the kill and a trade back. Nice respond play from New Age Frost.
Okay, now Necrox, you were talking a little bit about the lethal tempo, the lethality, pardon me, into this really tanky front line here. Yes, but also the bounces. We have to remember that there's no way to stop the bounces coming through. And Rio, Chaser, Kog'Maw, these guys are all kind of squishy. Lethality will cut into them quite a bit. And Potato Senpai as well. Yes, you get armor innately in your kit, but you're probably not going to be building a ton of armor initially here. So that lethality is still going to be somewhat useful in these trades. Again, is it completely optimal for late game team fights? No, but that's what you've got the Gwen for.
Yeah, Runeweaver, he's 1-3 on the Gwen, but I wouldn't call him weak by any means at this point in the game. Kenny now on the run away from H-King, who's trying to track down anyone in this mid lane once again. Working on that first item is Runeweaver. Meanwhile, quick game check. AOE has picked up 2 Drakes now to themselves. Looking at a Cloud Soul once again. It was much more useful in the last game, but still with a Sivir will be optimal to provide that sort of threat. And they've gotten themselves a nice overall lead with the Rift Herald use. And now they're looking for a dive bot side. Kog'Maw needs to be careful. He's just gone.
Yeah, you don't get out of this. The TP is actually not a great idea. Who's showing up? It's going to be Potato.
Yeah, Potato trying to run away from this one. On the other side, though, the other Potato in the match, does he survive? Chaos Storm down.
Oh.
No, he's gone. Now looking for one more bot side equalizer.
Yeah.
Zenith Blade is perfect, and this is why you lock in the duo. You lay down the red carpet, and you make them burn. AOE God Squad find a couple more, and they dominate the Rift for it.
I'm starting to see a trend here, Necrox. Potatoes this game, not working too well here, getting punished left and right. And that TP bot side for Potato Senpai costs a lot here. You didn't defend the turret, you didn't defend Kog'Maw, you ended up dying as well. And without that TP, there's an advantage for AOE right now. They can split push, and Rio has to match. While Potato has had a good matchup against Potato. Okay, well, Wukong has had a good matchup against the Lee Sin so far. I'm not so sure that Rio on this Victor is going to be able to enjoy quite as much here. That mobility from that Lee Sin does make it very difficult for the Victor to win that 1v1.
And not only that, but you also have to think about how Rio is going to team fight when it comes time in these late game skirmishes. Eventually, New Age Frost have to draw the line, right? They have to decide at some point we can't just keep giving towers, drakes, and rift heralds. And Rio, yes, Victor has some range, but operating into champions like a Rumble, a Leona, and a Gwen, they will just simply outburst you if they get the chance, especially with the gold that AOE have. So Rio certainly going to struggle. Kog'Maw trying to build his way towards the Sunderer. Eventually will do damage. Meanwhile, topside kick away, but that's the clone. Oh, monkey see, monkey do. And topside will fall. Melscout's Riven. This Rumble's fed. You do not want to give up this shutdown, though. This would be the way back into the game. And just like that, that's a big paycheck. Rio will pay for it in mid lane. Paxtax will take it a couple extra turret shots in the way out. True Shot Barrage will not find the mark, but New Age cash in with that bounty collected.
Okay, I am very glad that this top lane turret is about to fall for AOE God Squad, because I feel like it's been locking Potato Head in that top lane, and that's not been going well. 0, 5, and 2. You want this Lee Sin rotating around, get some assists elsewhere here, make some plays happen, and is this going to be it? Great Sid Frost presence.
Yeah, really good, but why are you going in when you're at a numbers disadvantage? 2 members dead already, and look what's available. It's the Rift Herald once again. AOE God Squad just simply outmaneuver you, and now they'll take an objective for it.
I do want to point out, there was a ward in the river. There were multiple wards in the river, actually, which would have spotted that rotation down from the top side. But H-King decides to just kind of force it there. And H-King is starting to transition towards that tankier build. The Divine Sunder is completed. So this is pretty much as high damage as you're going to expect from this Poppy here for the most part. And I'm looking at who else from New Age Frost is going to step up. Right now, it's looking like it's Potato Senpai on this Wukong, but still kind of squishy. And this Ezreal Yuumi combo has really not come online.
All right, RMC, this is the point in the game where New Age Frost have made a critical macro decision. They have decided they are not strong enough to contest Soul Point for AOE, and they will give up that Drake. Giving one more would mean Soul to the likes of AOE. New Age Frost still looking to complete their mythics. There you go. Finally, Kog'Maw bases and gets his Sunderer in. Shurelia's as well for Chaser. Those are both massive when it comes team fight time, and New Age Frost are trying to stall out as long as possible to catch up to the gold lead that AOE have built for themselves.
Yeah, and I think this is where some of the questions we had on the AD when we were looking at the draft here about how, the Poppy was going to work with maybe the Wukong, the engage to disengage here. This is where you start playing a bit of teet back and forth here. You're for the side of New Age Frost. You're looking to sit back and poke down with the Ezreal, with the Yuumi first before you engage here. If you just force a straight up fight, you probably lose against this Rumble, this Sivir, this Leona. AOE God Squad, sure, you've got good poke with the Sivir, but you do want to try and force the fights while you have an advantage. And the question is going to be, does that Solar Flare land from Kenny here? He's been absolutely stunning this entire match here, and he's going to have to continue literally stunning in order to close this one out.
Yeah, and while locking up members is critical, not sure the itemization is all that great from AOE God Squad. They have 2 lethality items. They have a mythic now completed for Runeweaver in that Riftmaker, and Night Harvester as well from Melscout, but I'm not sure that I'm in love with the 2 lethality items that AOE have built for themselves. We talked already about, Paxax and his tempo. Potato has completed his mythic. It's the Eclipse in for the Lee Sin, and an 05 Lee Sin trying to operate with no extra health, no extra survivability. That is tough to do, especially against the disengage that New Age have. And AOE are going to have to navigate these fights well, but for now, they're just taking control, and they will steal away the blue buff along with every single bit of vision that New Age have laid down.
I mean, there's still that one that is spotting Mel Scout out right now, and that is actually a pretty critical ward right there. It is stopping AOE from getting the pick that they want to. Now, Necrox, that Eclipse that we're talking about, that lethality item here, yeah, it's not a Gore Drinker, which you want to see for Potato Head right now. And that also means that Potato Head is not looking to be a team fight force here. He's looking for either the split push, which is honestly not a good look for him right now, considering how far ahead Potato is, or he's looking to assassinate a target. And considering the amount of tools they have to already burn down Kog'Maw and Rio, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it either. We'll have to see how it pans out. He doesn't have TP right now, so it's not really the time where we get to see that 1v1 split push from that Lee Sin.
And while we're on the check of items, no Grievous Wounds is in. They're looking for something on Runeweaver. The slow doesn't land. Hallowed missed as well to keep him alive for a little bit longer. Maybe looking to turn this around. Understands he can't get away. Exhaust is there. That's a slow. Nice play from Rune to dodge out one more slow, but I don't think Rhea is fast enough. But here comes the Zoomies. Final chapter in and giving it over to Kog'Maw. But at what cost? Observers toggle this one so beautifully. It's on Bear, and AOE have made the call. Here comes the TP RMC. This is a game-deciding call from AOE. They want the Baron. It's down to 6k. Here comes the poke from Rio. Maybe looking for a turn. Possibly Paxax still has the on the hunt. Here we go. Keeper's Verdict gonna knock one away. That's Potato. The kick is no longer available. Spinning on the back line. The red carpet comes out. Mel Scout's first one to drop along with Rune Weaver. Damage piling over top, and New Age grab 3, kick away 1 more, and all of a sudden New Age have found themselves a beautiful position.
AOE God Squad, you can't do that. Your Sivir, it's a lethal tempo Sivir who built lethality, and your Mana Immune hasn't even converted to a Mirror Mana yet. You just don't have the damage. You can see how slow it's going down, and now New Age Frost get to do this, and sure, TP's coming in from Runeweaver, but do you have a smite? No, you don't get this.
Rune Weaver looking to steal it away, not able to do it. It's nice, secure by AOE in the middle of that room. Going to be stunned up against the wall, maybe looking for a play in Potato, but not will be able to do it. Kog'Maw grabs the kill, and RMC, I cannot believe what I'm seeing. A disastrous mid-game shot call from AOE may have just lost them this game. For certain has given New Age Frost an angle straight back into game 3.
21:30 Necrox, bookmark that time, because it's the time where AOE God Squad might just have lost this game and this series here, giving that Baron up, because New Age Frost, they've been behind this entire time. They've been playing on the back foot, and they've been finding amazing picks to stay into the game. They've really been bouncing back here, and now with this Baron take, they don't have to rely on picks. They can just shove the lanes right now. They're ahead, they're strong, and I'm looking at where AOE God Squad is. They're split once again.
And they just don't know what to do. AOE are rattled by what has just happened to them. There's no TP on Runeweaver. He's too far away, and this one's gone. You have to give this one up if you're AOE. Losing this, not only with the Baron Siege, Kenny's on the flank. They want the fight. Equalizer's down. Kenny has locked up one member. H-King gonna go low. I am frozen. RMC, are you frozen as well?
I am not frozen in-game, but I am frozen on Discord right now. And just to give you a quick summary, it's a wash. It's a wipeout. New Age Frost are finding more. They're going for Potato Head right now. He's running away. Is able to safeguard to safety, but Potato Senpai has not completely given this up. They're going to chase through the turret here. They're into the inner bot lane turret, and they just barely don't find Potato Head. They're on to Rune Weaver instead, turning around, and the kick comes out. Not quite enough. They do find Rune Weaver. Hallowed Mist can't do anything against Potato, and it's going to be the snipe from Chaser here, just barely finding him with the Prowling Projectile.
All right, we're back. Rune Weaver's looking for the play into the turret against Rio, but will dodge out for now, resetting that tower aggro. Gonna hop his way back forward with a skip and slash. We apologize for the delays, but we're right back into the action. Rune Weaver's looking for the 1v1 against his Victor, but how far can you get? The jungle is here again, man. It's like deja vu. You can't chase him down. H-King is always here. Tackle into the wall, slam him over. Not able to find the kill with the electrocute proc. Rune Weaver forcing his own flash away, but after that play, RMC, you're a beast for picking it up, but you're gonna have to break it down one more time.
Okay, I actually think we might have missed another big fight here. Because, yeah, there was a skip ahead. We actually lost about 2 minutes there. So the fight that I was casting was not even the fight we just saw. There was another, let me count this here, 3-for-3 fight which just happened. And we might see another big one. Potato Head getting caught out.
Potato's gonna go low. He's gonna go down. One more auto, a chaser to secure it, but now has to be a disengage. Certainly cannot win this one in a 2v1. Potato Senpai gonna go low. He's got one. Mouse Scout's dead. Now Chaser's in trouble. The TP to the rescue. Double kill to Paxax. He was there in time. The Sivir ulti move speed brings up the squad, and it's a 2-for-2 overall. RMC, what the hell is going on? New Age, Frost, and AOE are fighting for playoffs, and they're not giving up.
No, and because these teams, they are 4th and 6th here, losses and wins, the ones, the twos, they matter a ton here. Rio not participating in that fight, pushing bot side, and New Age Frost, sure, it's a 2-for-2, looks even, but New Age Frost invested less to do that here. So that Baron power play they got, while it only put them 1k ahead, is still working. Is still very, very effective for them here. And I'm waiting for this dragon because Soul didn't go over to AOE God Squad, and granted, it's a Cloud Soul and you don't have a Hecarim, so it's not quite as scary. You don't zoom quite as fast here. But from what we've seen, Potato Senpai's positioning in these fights, giving him the ability to move that much faster, might be enough to tip New Age Frost over in these big team fights.
Okay, AOE. With one Drake to go until Soul. They're setting up for it now in the river. Chaser using the zoomies. Nice flash in his blade, but the team is not here in time. Kenny might be caught out. Equalizer does not hit anyone. Keeper's verdict is going to hit one, but H-King is dead. The jungler's down. Potatoes in the back line. The Cyclone on 5 members. The Cirelli's his pop, but he just can't get there in time. Kog'Maw's low. Rune Weaver's found his way out of the back line. 2-for-0 so far to AOE. Jungler, top laner dead. AOE low, but they're not low enough to give up this Drake. They're not giving up hope, and New Age know they can't give this one away for free. Flash kick, Kog'Maw turning it around. That's the Eclipse in trouble. Rio's gonna go golden, buying a little bit of time. Rune Weaver will not survive, but Soul is given all the same. RMC, these late game team fights are close. They're surely going one way or another, but New Age, Frost will not give up. Soul secured, but New Age with 3 members alive, still looking to press for more.
2-for-3 in that trade there, and frankly, it could have been a 3-for-0. Potato and Rune Weaver opted to go over wall, opted to go for the kill, and we're starting to see the problem here. The carries, Rio and Kog'Maw, with this Yuumi are just too difficult to deal with. They're starting this up without attack. They're relying strictly on sustain here, and I don't know if this is the right call. Equalizer already back up.
I'm so scared, Harmsu. You've already seen one throw around Baron. Here comes the TP. Equalizer is available. H-King here on the front line for now. True Shot Barrage will tag a couple members, but it doesn't do all that much. It's only 2 items for Kog'Maw at this point. Potato has found a nice flank, but a flash away from Potato Head will keep him alive for now. A couple more boomerangs will slow a couple members, but not enough to really make a difference in a fight. New Age pulling back away once again as they control the river. For the final time.
Watch
Maybe Kenny over the wall with an icy to play. The Equalizer is on so many. Trying to sign away, but he just can't do it. Shut down to Paxax. The team fight is massive, and you just can't fight in corridors like this. Chaser dies, and Rio is not long for the world. Final kills come through, and that might just be game. Kenny finds one angle. You give him one shot, one opportunity, and AOE might have just punched their ticket to playoffs.
That play right there, MVP from Kenny. They were losing. They weren't supposed to win, and they find a beautiful, what is that, a 4-man stun? I said he needed to be stunned, and he certainly did it. They are pushing in, and I don't know if they can necessarily end this right here, but being able to crack this, they get at least 1 Nexus, maybe 2 Nexus turrets, and New Age Frost don't get a chance at Baron.
I think they got it. I think they got the end. The death timers are too long, and AOE will close it out in game 3. 2-1 to the God Squad. It was close. It was bloody, but New Age falter at a critical moment. And AOE come up big when it mattered most. Man, RMC, we both need a drink of water after that one.
Yeah, I am shocked there, and I think that tells you how close the series was. I'm so glad that this was the way Game 3 played out. The back and forth here, yes, mistakes were made, but AOE made a huge mistake. Was it 21:30? I think I said bookmark that time. That's when they threw the game. Well, was that 28 minutes to bookmark that time? Because Kenny just redeemed them there. They power on, they win it. And despite the fact that New Age Frost end up losing the series 1-2 here, I think they're still in playoff contention. We still have 3 more weeks to go. And if this is the way they can play, if they continue to play this way here, I expect to see them in playoffs.
What a series from both of these two teams. Game 3 tells you and shows you, for the time that it was on screen, exactly how much these teams are willing to fight and lay down to make that final push for the playoffs. We'll have an interview right after our analyst test. Don't go anywhere. We might need to give them time to calm down from that game, surely, because that one was incredible. But for now, we're going to throw it on over to our analyst test to break down our final game and close this out.
Holy moly, Cam, what a game 3 we just witnessed here between AOE and New Age Frost. Down to the wire, down to the fine details, and I think Dia said it best in chat here. AOE wins the series, but we are all the winners here as we saw some of the best and worst we could have possibly seen throughout the night, throughout the series, but that is what we love about League of Legends. That is what we love about Heavy League. That was insane.
That was absolutely the game 3 that I was hoping for. We got to see a stomp of game 1. We got to see a stomp of game 2 from the other team. And then in game 3, it was the most back and forth show that we could have possibly hoped for.
And back and forth it was. Game 1 to AOE, game 2 to New Age after a good adaptation. They stick with that Yuumi, they get Rio on the Victor, and while they were very far behind time and time again, they found pick after pick to keep themselves alive and then just punished AOE for that very, very greedy Baron take. And after that, it was anyone's match. The soul goes over to AOE, but it's just the Cloud Soul. You could see how tight it was. Major objective spawning, mid waves pushing out, and one killer play from a man who had an absolutely incredible game. Kenny lays down the 4-man Leona ulti, just destroys the team fight, and that is the winner for AOE.
Absolutely. Kenny showing up huge in not only game 3, but in game 1 and game 2 as well. In game 3, we got to see him off of his comfort pick. He was not on one of those hook champions that we get to see him play so often. On game 3, absolutely showing up huge on this Leona. Almost, I could argue, single-handedly carrying this entire season or even series.
Yeah, he certainly was incredible throughout this series in both of the wins and even in the loss, was providing such a great outlet for engages for this team and does come up with the clutch play to win the series. Once again, we will remind you of the stakes here in this game. These are two teams that are near the bubble going into today. I believe AOE was 9-9, 8-10 was New Age Frost. So AOE will end up at 9-9. I can't do math. 11-10. Yeah. And we'll have New Age Frost sink down to 9-12. Fortunately for our friends over at New Age Frost, they are also in a playoff battle with Gamers for God, who came into tonight tied with them at 8-10. Gamers for God fell 0-3 to Lotus today to wrap up that series. Who flashed that fight also went 3-0 against LBK Lemon, and Glaive Esports Onyx went 3-0 clean sweep over Wyo Boomers. Our top 3 teams showing why they are the top 3 teams at the moment. Cleaning house tonight, but that is still very good news for New Age Frost after they put in a heck of an effort here against AOE God Squad. Cam.
Absolutely. This was such a strong effort. Even being able to take one game off was huge, and then almost being able to take 2 off at the very end there. There were so many back and forth team fights, so many super good picks at the end of the game there that looked like they could definitely turn the entire game in favor of New Age. And then in the end, that final team fight, the final team fight that won it all.
Yeah, what a team fight it was, but enough from us. We can hear it from the man himself. We have Kenny Masterland in the wings here for an interview, so we'll throw it back to our casters, RMC and Necrox. Take it away with an interview from the man of the hour.